Good morning, phono friends. Don Wilson here to talk a little bit about some of the reproduction parts that are coming out of India. Everybody knows about the crapophones, as they call them, that are floating around. But just because they're cheap doesn't always mean that the quality is poor. And I don't like to accept rumors as fact, so wanted to order one and give it a try and make this little video to show you what I found. This particular one that I had ordered is right here. It's this outside horn back bracket and tone arm. I got this off eBay for $20, which included free shipping from India. And looking at it, especially in the pictures, it looks quite a bit, or the tone arm anyway, looks quite a bit like a Victor one. It has a bayonet fitting, it's articulated, so it seemed like it might be a good fit for a inexpensive outside horn project that I'm trying to build. But after arriving, let's take a look at what we actually found. So there's the bayonet fitting for the reproducer. The hole is quite oval, and it's also, I wouldn't even want to call that machined. It looks like it's rough cast and then spent about 5 seconds on a belt sander. And the same goes for the back. And where the tone arm actually mounts to the back bracket, we can see that there's just a hole that's drilled there. And that hole is threaded, and there's this screw that's supposed to go through it, sits in there, and then the nut keeps it from wiggling around too much. Speaking of things wiggling around, that's all the slop that's in the articulated piece. And all the hardware is tight on it. The most baffling part of all of this is how the tone arm fits into the back bracket. Do you see that amount of slop? And there's no piece missing. This is just how it's assembled. I can't imagine how much air leakage there must be there, and how much that must rattle when it's being played. The other thing that's kind of misleading about this is looking at this. The scale and the proportions look very similar to a Victor tone arm. But when we put it next to an actual Victor tone arm, and this is not one of the fat tone arms, this is just one of the plain skinny ones. I think this is off of a 6. We can see here that it's significantly smaller. So much smaller that I'm skeptical that it would really be usable on a 10-inch turntable. Also, I think I mentioned a moment ago that this picture doesn't show it so well. But a Victor reproducer doesn't fit on this. This is actually way too small for a Victor reproducer. And if we also compare how a Victor attaches, they have a nice pin with a machined collar, and to prevent those wiggles and air leaks, we have this machined fitting where we can see it's quite a nice fit, and also a space for captive ball bearings so it spins nice and smoothly. So that's my comparison between the two. The back bracket does seem like it might be usable for an inexpensive project. Taking this Victor tone arm, the Victor tone arm does physically fit inside of it. And I think that if one were to machine a bushing either out of some nylon or some polyurethane or Teflon or whatnot, the back bracket might be quite usable. It does seem fairly sturdy. It is rather thin, but it is made of a relatively rigid grade of aluminum. Personally, I wouldn't have any problem using this. Might be difficult to get the horn to mount to the top. And for $20, it was a good value, but that Tonearm, well, just junk. So there's my brief review on crapaphones, and I hope that somebody found it insightful.